Understanding alternate tunings can be extremely easy if, and this is my belief, if you understand thoroughly the modes. Let's just take a look at standard tuning for a moment. E, A, D, G, B, and then the high E string, E, A, D, G, B. When I take a look at this, depending on the key that we're in, my objective is to see the individual strings. And so when I say modes, we could take each one of these strings and turn them into kind of a modality. In the key of C, for example, we would have E, F, G, A, B, C, D, and then back to E. So if you think about it like this, regardless of the tuning, if there's a string that's tuned to E, and you're in the key of C, you're going to have these same notes. That is completely unchanging. If you're in any key and there's the third mode or the Phrygian mode as E is to C, then you're always going to have this alignment of notes: open 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. So there's two things that we can gain from this. If we're in a certain key, the notes on that string are unchanging. Additionally, we're looking at string to string relationships. So let's go ahead and finish this. It's kind of cumbersome, but we can do it quite easily if we copy some notes here. You have GA. I'll go ahead and copy everything from here over to here, and then starting on the D string, B, C, D, and then at the G string, start A, F and G, get the B string pretty easily here, and down to B. Okay, so we'll save these sharps in case we need them. So here we have the C major scale in standard tuning. And again, looking at this from a modal perspective, E is your Phrygian mode. If I know my Phrygian mode is flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, and 1, then that's going to be open 1, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12, no matter what key you're in. If we are in a different key and the third or the Phrygian mode of that was there on a single string, that's what it's going to be. But so let's take a look at this from the perspective of string to string. Very simply, if we have two strings that are the same, then of course the notes are going to be the same on either side. These are on the guitar, this is 2 octaves. So C goes to C on this end, D to D, E to E, F to F, so on and so forth. If we bring this A string back into the picture here, notice the alignment is pretty much the same fret on each one, with one exception. We have the F and the B like this. That's because, again, so now if we know modally what Phrygian is to minor or Aeolian, or in the Aeolian mode, that we have a 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, then we can easily know that string. Or if we know these strings are a fourth apart in a major scale system, every note is going to have a perfect fourth except for the 4. So yet another reason to know these modally. And now if I've lost you at this point, it's probably because you do not understand your modes, which means you have to know them, you have to memorize them. Let's bring the D string back into the picture. And that's not an attack. It's just I find it to be a major point of avoidance, learning notes, learning modes, learning the things that go with the guitar, quite frankly. And I don't quite understand it. If, there's plenty of people out there that can, they're into cars, they can name every model from, now, and, back into the 1940s. But when it comes to guitar, there's quite a number of people I encounter that want to understand it, but avoid key elements of music. And I just recommend not avoiding it and doing it. So if we take a look at these two strings together, we have a similar situation in that this is a seventh relationship. So with sevenths, everything, all notes are in every mode have a minor seventh except for the 1 and the 4, and we see F to E and C to B, and the rest of them are on the same fret. So as we construct all of our notes in standard tuning, it's important to understand string to string and single string what we're doing. In the key of C, for example, this would be the Phrygian mode, this would be the Aeolian or minor, this would be the Dorian, this would be the Mixolydian, this would be the Locrian, 7th mode, and then same thing here. So let's just see how this applies to a different tuning. For example, a lot of people are hip to the all fourths tuning. That's where we don't make the exception of the G to the B, and instead we have a C and F tuning, which makes this all fourths. So what we have now is slightly different. And this, by the way, very useful tuning in a lot of ways because there's a lot of symmetry with it. However, for anything gained, there's always something lost. And what's really lost in the all fourths tuning is some easier positions with the full 6-string guitar, mostly in terms of chords. But also in some type of scale play. So in this case, some elements that we have here that we don't in a standard tuning are a couple of intervals that we see, and one is the existence of the half step, albeit it's separated by 2 octaves. But we see there, from here to here, there's only 2 places where the notes align, and that's your E to F and your B to C. Everything else would be a whole step, and so a whole step, again, separated by 2 octaves, would be on separate frets in this tuning because of the tuning. Whereas in standard tuning, you have the same note, so across from it is going to be the octave. Another interval that doesn't exist in standard tuning from string to string is the 6th, the minor 6th, that is, which is the inverse of a major third. So in the key of C, the 1, the 4, and the 5 have a major third, whereas the 2, 3, the 6, and the 7 have minor thirds. So that's one thing that we have with that. Let's look at an open tuning now. So open tunings, I'm just going to make an example here. We'll say E, G. It's not wanting to click to my spot here. One example of an open tuning would be open C. And typically in open tunings, open tuning typically refers to like an open major chord, or sometimes a minor chord, sometimes a suspended chord. But this would be an example of an open tuning. So we have some repeat notes. We have actually 2 E's, 2 G's, and 2 C's. So if I were to, say, eliminate these and eliminate these here, we have the C major scale, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, right? To bring the E's back into the picture, here we have our major thirds: major, minor third, major third, major third, minor third, minor third, major third. Modally, if you were to look at the modes, the 1, 4, and 5 have a 3. All the rest of them have a flatted 3, and that's where the interval comes from. And then if we add the G back into it, then we see we have open, major triad, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. So it's really quite that simple. Any tuning can be easily understood if you know the notes of the scale, especially on the single string. Again, they are unchanging. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E in C major in standard tuning is going to be in the same spot. The difference is when it changes. So in an open tuning, we can see here, major chords are pretty easy to do. They're all open. The F chord is all open. The G chord, or not all open, but all on the 5th fret. And the G chord is all on the 7th fret, whereas the minor chords take on this shape every time. If it goes 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8 for A minor, 10, this would be a diminished chord, so 10, 10, 11, 10, 11, 10. Some of these, obviously these types of chords, you would either have to abbreviate or come up with a interesting fingering to hold all of them at the same time. And you don't have to hold all of them at the same time, but just saying here, this is what you are looking for when you're looking at other tunings. I am going to stop this right here, but if you have any questions or want me to analyze a different alternate tunings, just leave for me in the comments what it is, and I'll do my best to get to it. Hope you liked and understood this video. Thank you.